The slide is visible to you. We started before the presentation, what we had a discussion with the students. Before that, we started discussing about the personalization, and this we have to discuss about few matrix or what are the ways we can decide. This is some conceptual thing that's alone bending in the second unit. So second unit focus on the technology in CRM, Salesforce automation, field force automation, eCRM, multi-channel CRM, and data analysis. In the data analysis, we have a clickstream analysis, personalization, collaborative filtering. And the last one is pre-implementation checklist and CRM implementation challenges. That is the discussion we are having. So today we try to discuss about some concepts with respect to the personalization and customization. Okay, so whenever we already discussed about the challenges. So one of the biggest challenge. So before that, please confirm the slide is visible, friends. So that I can proceed.
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. So we have to decide, can I have the same type of CRM for all type of clients, or can I customize or personalize? Yes, obviously we know that every customer is unique, and case to case basis we have to decide. But what is the thing? What is the technology, or what is the concepts I have to include, or what are the parameters I have to consider, or what are the variables I have to consider? So these are the various discussions. I'm not speaking about the technical concepts. Okay, so technical concepts I am not speaking, but with respect to the decisions, we have to come to the conclusion. So these things we already discussed. So here, with respect to the customization means we are considering each and individual customer as a separate customer. The same set of CRM, the same set of applications, same set of tool cannot match their need. So even though something has to be standardized for a common quality perspective, branding perspective, value perspective, but certain things has to be customized. So in terms of customization, we have to remember a few things. We can decide on the customization itself on the few parameters. So this diagram, so this is one conceptual things. Okay, so you can remember and you can answer during the exam. Okay, so here we have to consider two important parameters: how the product has to be fit with the client. Okay, so for example, we are having a product, or they are having a different product. Okay, so they may be having a single product and selling for a longer period of time, and every time they will be having different products. It may be their characteristics. So based on the characteristics, I have to decide whether I can standardize or I can customize. So for this, I am taking two important things: variables, product change characteristics, whether the customer's nature of the product is stable or it is dynamic. So product, so we can classify, the name is called as product change. So product change we can classify highly changing or no changing. This is one category. Next one is how they want to represent the product to the customers. So in the y-axis, it is clear that whether the customer is going to deal with the same type of product. For example, if it is a hospital, means whether the hospital is going to give same set of treatment, dealing with the same set of medicine, having a same set of doctors, having a same set of arrangements, or case to case basis they will be changing. Case to case basis they will be including the new infrastructure, or including new medicine, or collaborating with the new doctors or not. So if they are doing differently, then there will be high change. No, this is my hospital, I am going to focus only on this customer, my treatment is like this, you only can come. So there will be different type of hospitals, maybe Ayurvedic hospitals. So that we cannot demand. They will say, this is my product, whoever suits can come and pick. So we have to classify, my client is providing the same set of product, or he is changing his product. Number two, whether he is positioning the product same way to the all customer all the time, or he changes his positioning or not. So here we are using a word called representation. So whether the representation of your client with respect to their service or product is stable or it is changing. In today's scenario, it is very difficult to stick on with only one concept. Even though we will say The product should be unique. The product should be special. The product should be core differentiation, and it should not imitate others. It should follow the standard pricing. It should use a standard instruction how to use. All can be standard, so there will be some loyalty. That is our earlier assumption in marketing. Even you can take big corporate companies, premium companies like iPhone, they go on trying with the premium products, but how they want to position, they try to change. And only one thing, they are stick on with the premium product and premium customers. How they position the same product have to be differ if their current product is not accepted. When the product is failure, there's a two-way to recover. If we have enough money, if we have a capacity, we can change the product or we can improve the product. Or otherwise, we can change our promises. We can change our targeted customer. So as I cannot change my product, but I will position it in a different way. For example, your client is having a car. It is positioned as a premium car. Unfortunately, the car is not performing, okay, in sales. So he want to divert his sales to medium level customers. So when he want to move to the middle level customers or middle income group, he has to reduce the price. When he want to reduce the price, he cannot stick on with the premium luxury celebrity position. So obviously he'll be changing little bit any cost reduction if it is possible in designing, that he will do, or otherwise he has to change the positioning. He cannot maintain the premium. He cannot maintain the luxury. He should not use the word, because he is going to position middle income or lower income group. So it is very clear, some clients may have a same product, but their representation will change time to time. Some clients may have a same product, similar product, which will be has to be improved or modified time to time. So with this two category, our customization can be 4 types. So here, yes, we decided there should be a customization, but the customization can be classified into 4 types. First one is a transparent. So like this, some examples are given. When we go for a transparent customization, when the product involves more and more changes than and that, but the client is having the same representation. The representation can be based on the pricing, based on the quality, based on the service, whatever it may be. If you stick on to the way he represents, but he is changing, or he may be innovating, he may be diversifying in the product, mean we can go for transparent customization. The number 2 is adaptive. Adaptive, it is less product change and less representation change. That means that they are having a standard product and standard way of pushing. That means that they can adapt. That is called as adaptive customization. So you have to design a CRM that should suit their need, because they are not going to change. If the company is changing in future, mean you can use some other option, you can add some other option, you can say these features may be useful later, like, and you can suggest. But why we are call it as adaptive means present a uniform representation, present using a filter, and which is personalized only for that particular company, means you have to adapt what is their requirement. So it can be called as adaptive, because they are not going to change the product, they are not going to change their way they are representing. Number 3 is called as cosmetic. There will be more representation changes. They may be having a less product change. Their product may not go for more innovation. The product may not be diversified. The product quality design may not change, but how they position will be frequently changing. That means it should be projected, it should be highlighted different time to different people. So that's why we call it as a cosmetic. So it's a technical word, okay? Cosmetic means we have to highlight, we have to exaggerate, we have to position according to the changes in representation. They are not going to change the product, they are changing the way they are doing the business or doing the product. The last one is collaborative. The collaborative says that both are dynamic. The company is completely dynamic. It is go on changing the product, changing the service, changing the customer, and also changes how they want to position. So here there is no stability in producing a product, no stability in doing a service, no stability in projection, positioning, advertising, etc. I mean, they are highly complex. So when you are providing a CRM, you should not give a stable CRM, because whenever there is a change, mean every time the client will come to you, sir, this you have to change, that you have to change, this you have, because every hour or every day he will be changing. So you should have a CRM which is open-ended and it should be collaborative. So whenever there is a discussion with the retailer, whenever there is a discussion with the supplier, whenever there is a discussion with the customer, then and there the product will change, then and there the discount will change, then and there the advertisement will change, then and there the positioning will change. Means accordingly your CRM system means it may be a website, it may be application, it may be a system, it may be a machine. In this you are designing on system. That system has to adopt all the changes and it has to project and it start functioning on the very next second without the support of the actual designer. So it is interactive, or it can be called as a collaborative customization. Fine. So this is a simple concept, but only thing you have to remember, in terms of customization, you have to consider two variables. One is product attribute, another one is representation. So in this, we have to consider the product can be a changing or a stable one, or representation can be highly changing, or it can be a stable one. Based on that, we are answering 4 possibilities. So that things are explained here. Okay. Next, in the same way, we are having another matrix. Okay. When is personalization profitable? Okay. So we want to decide. So personalization means we are designing a CRM which is suitable for all the type of customers, all the type of supply. It is personalized. It is personalized. We have to send a personalized, individualized messages to individual customers or suppliers or legal persons or auditors or concerned, whoever it may be. It's personalized. So, but when we are going for more personalization, it is cost involved because it is not standardized. So we have to change then and there's a lot of technical details, lot of softwares, lot of programs has to be written. So we have to decide when is personalization profitable. Here also we have to consider 2 different parameters. One is customer need. Okay, one is customer need, another one is customer valuations. So customer need, you know very well what is their requirement. Okay, so sometimes the CRM we have to design where the customer is having a uniform need. Every customer is looking for quality. Every customer is looking for the same taste. Every customer is looking for the ranges. Every customer is looking for advertisement. So whatever the features, they need frequent communication. So if you have a targeted segment, all the segment of customers are homogeneous. Their needs are similar. That means that one category. Another one is highly differentiated. Okay, your customer is highly differentiated, but you are going to design one CRM. So here, so now this slide speaks from the customer point of view. Earlier slide spoke from the client point of view. Okay, so now we have to think, you are going to design a CRM for the client based on this personalization. What personalization is beneficial? So the client have a type of customer, customers who are all unique in their expectation or need, or it is highly varying. So customer need ranges from the uniform expectation or highly differentiated expectation. Another thing, it's a valuation. Valuation, it can be a similar or it can be a wide range. So valuation means it can be taken in a 2 different ways. How much money or how much worth or how much business your customer is going to give. That is one thing. Or other way we can speak, how the customer perceive your product as a worth. So both way it can be done. Customer, how the customer can evaluate your business or a product or a service. So it can be from all are making it as a similar way they are projecting, or they are valuing differently. Okay, so for example, we will take Honda bike. Okay, so we are having a CRM to connecting all the Honda bikes. So before doing the CRM, we have to consider there will be 1,000 customers. For example, in Kottanur, we have 1,000 customers using a Honda or specific model bike. When you ask the question to the customers, how you value the Honda? So we value means we are trying to give some monetary or quantitative terms from their emotional judgment. Sir, this bike, what's, so approximately they will say only with respect to the price if it is new. But after 5 years, after 6 years, somebody will say This may worth 10,000 rupees. This may worth 20,000 rupees. Based on their experience, based on their emotional attachment, based on their feeling, based on their purpose, based on their benefit. So the same bike can be valuated by different customers differently. That is, there is a wide range of valuations, or all customers says that, sir, after 5 years, it's worth only 10,000 rupees. So it serves me worth of 10,000 rupees of service. That means it is a similar. So here we have two sets. Customer, all are similar in their needs or they are varying. It's a range. Another one, after they bought a service or bought a product, they can evaluate similarly or differently. Customer valuation can be done from a client side or from our side also, whether all the customers are having the same worth. So why we are maintaining CRM? We are maintaining a CRM to retain the customers. We are encouraging for the next purchase. The business like insurance, business like telecom, we want money again and again by their repurchase. So for these things, I have to evaluate my customer. Which customer is segment A, segment B, segment C. Segment A customers may be, I am saying an example. Segment A customer may be purchasing yearly once, but he will buy for crores. Segment B customers may be buying monthly once, he buy for 1 lakh per month. The customer C is a person who purchase 2 days or 1 day per day. Once he will buy, his frequency is more, but his value of purchase only 500 rupees. So I can evaluate the customer, which customer is important in terms of value of the purchase he is making, or number of sales he is making, or frequency, etc. So each company has its own parameter to evaluate the customer. So either way we can take, either from the customer judgment or customer valuation on the product and the customer need, or how we are evaluating customer based on our return on investment per customer. Okay. So simply, before deciding the personalization of the CRM to the customers, we have to decide whether it's profitable or not. So by considering two things, we can have first one, mass marketing. Mass marketing says that there is a similar or uniform customer needs and similar valuations. So there is no difference with respect to the need and no difference with respect to how they evaluate the product. Means we can go for mass marketing. Mass marketing means what? We can have a CRM sending one SMS, that SMS reach all the customers immaterial. When we will decide all the customers have similar need, all the customers will perceive the message same way, then we can go for mass marketing. It's like a bulk SMS. Okay, so I'm saying only one application of the CRM. Number two, we can have a high differentiation with respect to what customer need. Customer need is different. Customer need is different, but their valuation is also same. So all the customer are having an important value. So here we cannot say this customer is 100 rupees worth, that customer is 1000 rupees. Every customer is 500 rupees worth. So they are similar in terms of valuation. Another side, they are highly differentiated with respect to the needs. They are not similar to other customers. So they are unique. Then I can go for niche marketing or target marketing. So here, out of 1 lakh customers, I have to find out 100 customers. I am making the CRM only for the 100 customers because they are very unique. They are not like others. They are not purchasing more. They are not purchasing less. Their taste and preferences are highly different from other regular customers. So in the personalization, I have to adopt niche or target marketing. My CRM, in the CRM, my promotion, my communication should be very unique to the specific segment only, niche. Third one, we are having a less differentiation with respect to the customer needs. Customers' needs are similar. For example, they are looking for, in terms of bike, we can say they are looking for mileage. For example, toothpaste, they are looking for sweetness. For example, washing machine, they are looking for the efficiency. Likewise, all the customers are having a similar needs. But their valuation, what is the valuation? So here we can speak from the client side. Each and every customer is bulk in terms of value. They are giving more returns. what we can say in terms of FMCG, we can say it is a supermarket, high volume outlet. They are giving more return. This means I have to go for key accounts. They will be categorized as key accounts, and I have to decide frequency marketing. Because in the entire area of my territory, for example, there is a 1 lakh customer, means I can able to find out only 10 or 20 these key accounts. I will not see more options, and their volume is very, very high. So I have to design a CRM which should interact more and more and more frequently. They should be in my control. Every time they have to be motivated. Every discount offer should be communicated, means that is one type that is called as frequency marketing key accounts. The last one is a set of customers who are highly differentiated in their needs and their value is also high. Okay, each customer is having a different need. I cannot satisfy all the customer together. That means it is similar to direct marketing. Okay, it is similar to direct marketing. I have to send an individual SMS, I have to send an individual mail, I have to send an individual WhatsApp message, I have to make an individual call, I have to design an individual offer to each customer. Why? This side, every customer is high value, high volume customer. Their customer valuation is very high. Their worth is very high. I cannot skip even one. Another side, they are so much different. Even there are 20 customers, each and every customer's expectation is different. Their willingness is different. Their payability is different. Their frequency is different. So I cannot come up just opposite mass marketing. Mass marketing, I will consider all the things, I will send a bulk SMS. But here, I have to send each and individual communication. Even I am sending a alarm, I have to send each different alarm. That is, alarm means that's it, to remind to react to the business or offers. So that is 1:1. So when we can say my CRM is profitable, means I have to consider two parameters. One is I have to classify the customer based on their needs. I have to classify customer based on their valuation, based on the client business. After the classification, I can segregate the customer into 4 different types. Either I can go for a mass marketing, or I can go for a specific concentrated niche marketing, or can I go for a frequent marketing to a segment like key accounts, or I can go for 1:1. So even you have a mobile based CRM or internet based CRM or website based CRM or cloud based CRM, you have to decide personalization of the customers based on any 4. Then only we can say it is a profitable. The CRM with mass marketing concepts will not be suitable for 1:1, complete loss. You are sending a bulk SMS to all the 20 customers, means that may satisfy only one customer. 19 customers will not see the message because it's irrelevant. So your effort is waste. Reverse, if you have 1,000 customers, you are sending individual SMS to each and everyone, but their needs are similar, their wants are similar, their willingness is similar, their expectation is similar, means you are wasting money because one single bulk SMS is needed for all the people. So if you do mismatching, even in terms of personalization, that leads to the loss to your client and loss to your business itself. So that is called as profitability of the personalization. So another thing we are saying, determine the correct personalized system. Okay, fine. 4 category of personalization we decided, but how I can decide it? There is another matrix is that the same thing. As said in earlier, we have to consider customer needs, product space. We are classifying everything together. Customer needs and product space. Another one is key product attributes. So x-axis I can take general customer needs, we can keep as of now. Another things, what is the type of product attributes you want to mention? In the product attributes, it can be a quantitative or it can be qualitative. So we have to divide this key product attribute into quantitative or qualitative. So mostly quantitative factor will be pricing related or payment related or quantity. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the product is high priced or less priced. If this parameter is called as quantitative, that is mentioned in the down. It's a price. but it is a sentimental oriented or psychological oriented that cannot be measured. For example, it's like a feedback. It's like an emotional attachment. Then we can call it as a brand. So all the things can be called as a branded, branding, positioning. Okay. So here, when you go for the mass marketing, you have to decide whether it is a quantitative or qualitative. Example, quantitative, it can be pricing or discount related or sales related. Qualitative thing can be branding or positioning related. Okay. Decide if your customer needs can be uniform or highly differentiated. You can use the word your customer need. Customer need means the need of the product. Okay. So from this, we can determine the four different things. The first one we can say when it is uniform, all their demands are uniform and it is mostly quantitative oriented. That is pricing oriented or discount oriented means we can follow rule based personalization system. We can follow rule based personalized system. So example what we can say is related is explained. For airlines they are using rule based. The CRM will give some instruction. The CRM gives some instruction. The customer can read and they can adopt. Only one thing is the customer cannot answer. They cannot interact. So rule based. Rule based means you have to follow. Tomorrow it's a uniform. Tomorrow you have to come by 9 o'clock. During the exam, you should not use this. This is like a rule based. So for some business, we can dictate the customers to some extent. Okay, so for example, airlines, it is a risky business. The customer has to follow certain things, follow certain instruction, even especially during COVID time, there are a lot of instructions. So they have to follow. There is no need to interact, whether I can do like this, that. So that is called as a rule-based CRM. Okay. And through the CRM, what is the benefit to us means how they react, how they are reading, so we can observe and predict their behavior. The rule-based CRM, as a client, the customer's behavior can be observed and how they will, so what time they will come by their behavior. So for example, if I am sending a message, everybody reading a message immediately, then I can come to the conclusion, okay, they are responding immediately, so they will be on time. If the many people are not at all seeing the message, then I can predict that tomorrow many people will not be coming on time. So I can predict. So likewise, it is observable or predictable system can be in the CRM. And another thing, the consumer cannot interact. There is a two thing. It's called as rule based. The next one is endorsement system. It's a personalized system, endorsement system. Endorsement system, the products are similar. The products and needs are similar. The customer is having the same type of products, needs and their expectation. Here we are adding one value, this CRM, we can endorse. So the customer needs are similar, but still sometimes the customers are confused what to buy, how to buy. Then your CRM can suggest the customers. That is called as endorsement. So for example, we can say you are having a CRM for the ready-made shirt manufacturing client. Means even though whoever using the application may be the person who are looking for ready-made shirt. Okay, so that is very clear. Their product needs are similar. Yes, they are looking for ready-made shirt. They are not looking for customized stitching. But even then, based on their size, based on their weight, based on their occupation, based on their age, based on their religion, based on their region, based on their race, each have to be projected differently, but obviously customer don't know how to do. That means the CRM, there's a gap that can be filled to help the customer. This type of color, this type of design will be suitable for this type of occupation. This type of design, this type of brand can be suitable for this type of age. So it can be endorsing. That means suggesting. The first one is rule based, it's instruction based. Here, the customers cannot change or inquire anything. But in terms of endorse, it is a needs are similar. We are having the same type of customers, but the vendors can explain to them. Okay. But only one restriction is here the customers cannot be judged. Okay, so it is a challenge. Then the CRM is a challenge. The customers cannot be observed or judged. Only we can give a suggestion. The third one is called as a CASE, C-A-S-E. That is a computer assisted self-explication. That is the full form. Later, next slide it is given. Okay, CASE means computer assisted self-explication. So here the customer is highly differentiated with respect to the customer needs. Yes, he is having more expectation difference and he is looking for some quantitative product attributes. Fine. So these type of customers are highly diverse in their expectation, highly diverse in their needs. Their each and individual needs has to be understood. So we have to give a computer assisted, self-assisted. So the customers can make an inquiry, they can get a solution. They can have a doubt, it can be clarified. So that is so mostly with the mobile application itself, it can be possible. So it's a computer assisted, so predetermined. So for example, if you are making a telecall to the telemarketer means they are not answering from their own view. So if the error is like this should be the suggestion. If the error is like that, this should be the suggestion. If they are not paid, this should be the instruction. That's a telecaller is doing. The same thing when it is customized. When you type, this is my error, this is the problem I am facing, it will give an automated message. Okay, that is a case. So computer assisted self-explication. The customer themselves look for some solution without directly disturbing, or there is no need to wait for a certain period of time. But here only one thing is, here customer support or customer cooperation is required. Unless the customer is using the platform properly, he may not get satisfied properly because there is no direct assistance, there is no instruction, there is no endorsement. So it's a computer assistant, means the customer should be trained or he should have a own interest to use the application properly. That is a case. It is again a personalized system based on the customers. The last one is collaborative. The collaborative filtering is a different thing that we started experiencing in nowadays. The collaborative filtering nowadays we started experiencing using artificial intelligence, etc. So we are seeing in Flipkart, we are seeing in Amazon. Okay, sometimes customers directly won't ask anything; they will be just browsing. So immediately we will be giving ad. That is called as collaborative filtering, and we will be looking for some television. In the television itself, we are looking for some ranges, some prices, price ranges, some brands. By this behavior itself, the CRM can predict what DTH you may prefer. But based on the size of the TV and your price range from where you are, it can decide what type of table you can prefer for buying the television. For based on your preference, is there is any need for speaker and woofer system that will be suitable for you. So based on the TV purchase, can I suggest some generators or inverters that may be useful for you. So actually here the customer is not actually asking, these are my requirements. Sometimes he don't know. He don't know these things can be bought. But the device, the collaborative filtering, automatically understands your behavior, automatically tracks your behavior, and it tries to correlate with some other product or some other business which may be suitable for you. That is called as collaborative filtering. Here otherwise we can say it is called as a collective human judgments. So the system will observe, first you are going to this icon, next you are moving to the next page, next you are going to the Google, next you are going through the newspaper, next you are going to the reviews. So it will track. Here already in the class we discussed, it is tracking your clicks. After tracking your clicks, it will suggest you, you have to go like this. Then you will get another product, another discount. Otherwise, so for example, you are a student, your age category is 21 to 23. Okay. So when you come into the Flipkart or Amazon or any other system, or even in a Google, it's automatic. Somebody is unmuted. So can you find who is speaking now? Okay. So if anybody is not muted, please mute yourself because I think, okay, please. Yes. So this 21 to 23 year of category, you are entering into the browser or a system. Okay. So when you enter, immediately you will be getting some messages. How it is happening? So using your email ID or some other source, we may be able to track your age. We may be able to track your gender. Using the IP, I can able to track from the which location you are. So I have a record as a CRM provider. I have a record. So this category from this region, those who are using this type of devices, either it is a mobile or laptop, using some legal way or some other unethical way, we can track. If you are browsing, from which system you are browsing. Whether you are using iPhone, if it is iPhone, what is the model? If it is a Redmi, what is the model? It is possible to predict. And it was said, even your battery level can be tracked. Even your internet speed can be tracked. Even the what Wi-Fi you are using, what telecommunication you are using, that can be tracked. So there is a correlation is made, okay? This age category, this gender, this device, he is mostly having a 20 or 30% battery usage, means that his usage is more, is not recharging properly, or he might be a frequent user, and his device is costly or cheap or medium. If with like this mean, these set of people may look for these set of products. It's like a collaboration. It may be a suggestion. So sometimes we will look into the Flipkart, then we are searching for a pen, then the similar pen are highlighting. That is artificial intelligence. Beyond that, based on the previous record, whatever input we are giving, this input will be correlated with some other previous users, and I can find out what will be your benefit. This is with respect to the social media analytics. But the same thing can be used for CRM. It's a collaborative CRM. I am just collaborating with some other customer behavior, some other customer purchases, and I am correlating and I am started suggesting you. It is also personalized. It comes only to you. So it can be called as a collaborative filtering. So whenever we want to personalize the system, we can go for rule-based, only instruction you have to follow, or it can be recommendation, endorsement, or it can be computer supported CAC, or it can be collaborative suggestion based on similar groups behavior from the previous record. So by the four different ways, I can suggest you how the CRM can be personalized. So the thing, for example, collaborative filtering, the process of information filtering by collecting human judgments. It is called as collaborative filtering. So how the human being judging. So for example, it is a 10 rupees or 20 rupees. Next, how they are deciding the purchase, because they are making some decision. If it is the product is like this, if the color is like this, if the design is like this, means they are going for this purchase decision. So I am just reading the human judgments or rating the human judgments. Okay. So for example, I am showing the picture. There are 4 people and there are 4 different medias, or it's a serials like that we can have. Star Wars, Hoop Dreams, Contact, Titanic. Maybe we can consider as a movie or series like this. So here we are making a rating. Okay, so Joe rated Star Wars as 5, Hoop Dreams rated as a 2, Contact as 5, Titanic as 4. John, he did like this. Okay, it's like a puzzle what we play. So by this, Northern rated Star Wars as 5, Hoop Dreams as 1, Contact as 5. So here the CRM will correlate. So Joe rated 5, Northern rated 5. So his behavior in terms of Star Wars is like this. Next, Northern rated 1. So similarly, who is rated? Who? So they will make a cross combination. The same way Northern rated Contact as 5. Similarly, Joe rated as 5. So by correlating these things, we can guess what will be his review rating in Titanic. It may be a 3 or 4 or whatever it may be. So here I am not comparing with Northern's previous purchases. So Northern is giving reviews for 3 and already 3 people had given reviews for 4. So by relating, correlating, comparing, doing some calculation, I can predict what will be his rating. It's just an example I had put in the slide. The same way, Ravi is purchasing this type of good for this prices. Raja is purchasing this product for this price. The product may not be the similar. I may be buying a car, you may be buying a flight, another person is buying a petrol. But we will be giving some rating, some common parameters will be there. Maybe a gender, maybe a purchase preference, maybe a shop, maybe a way, how much time we are taking. There will be n number of parameters. The system will try to find out the common parameters, even though the product is related or not, even though we are related age or not. And it will make some combination and permutation. It will predict what will be your price preference, what will be your color preference, what will be your taste preference, what will be a discount preference. This will create. So when I open a system, it will make its own prior judgment and will show something that will match my mind. So mostly we will come to the conclusions, they tracked my behavior, they see my mobile, see my device through some, it's not required. And the government itself says that tracking your behavior is not unethical. Tracking your data is unethical. So again, I'm saying even there is no need to track each and every behavior. I can track 5 behavior. I can track another 5 similar behavior of you. Through this, I can predict what is your 6th behavior based on others' behavior. So this is called as collaborative filtering. This is the method called as collaborative filtering. Okay. So this is explained. You can study later. Okay, the other examples is given here, so you can read it later. And what are the evaluation metrics, how we have to measure, these are theoretical things you can study later. Okay. So as we discussed earlier, CRM pre-implementation checklist. Before implementing a CRM, we have to follow these things. These also discussed in the 2 classes prior. Okay. So finally they are saying when we go for implementing a CRM, we can have a follow-up of process. What is the process involved in CRM, or what are the process involved by the customer in using the CRM, or what are the process involved in client using the CRM, and what will be the perception of the CRM by the end customer, by the intermediary, by our client. Client means company for what we are designing, and what will be the privacy. So process, perception, privacy. These are 3 important things. Last one is politics. Politics means how your CRM is perceived, interpreted, suggested, recommended by the employees in the organization. That we call as a politics that we cannot predict. For this, we have to understand the organization structure, who is powerful, and we have to influence the people who is having a important decision making capacity like this. So 3 things in our hand. We have to understand the process of making the CRM, or what is the process of their business, and what will be the perception from the customer side and client side, intermediate side, and what will be the expected privacy from customer side, intermediate side, and client side. And combining with the politics, then we can decide with the CRM. So already the challenges in implementation, we have students are discussing. Okay, so it may be a cost, may be a problem, maybe a knowledge of the customer may be a problem, a legal restriction may be a problem, financial thing or economic things can be a problem, technological adaptation or technological availability can be a problem, number of process involved in a CRM can be sometime a problem, very small steps only available, that can be as a problem. So there are a number of challenges we have to consider, then only we have to make a design. And emerging trends in CRM, here I listed only a few. Whatever you heard from the newspaper, whatever you're browsing in the newspaper, you can list down. So for example, here I said near field communication. So near field means, as we know that when you are crossing a retail shop, immediately you are getting a SMS in your mobile. That is where nearby your device is tracked and they will be sending some communication. And location based services, yes, nowadays we have a GPS, nowadays we have a VTS, and we have a Google map. Even in the Android, if you switch on your location, that things can be trapped and that can be connected with the CRM. And augmented reality, virtual reality, these things also the recent trends in CRM which is connecting with the things. And some other thing we also studied in studying in analytics, like text analytics, neuro-linguistic program, neural analytics, and the word called sentimental analysis. Text analytics literally shows that how your reviews are written. either a positively or negatively or neutral. Like this, sentimental. The words will be attached to your emotions. For example, you are purchasing a mobile. What word you are using when you are angry? What word you are using when you are satisfied? What word you are using you are feeling nothing? You may have a maximum of three feeling, but how you are expressing? By the expression, I can understand your emotion. Through the emotion, I can predict your behavior. When you get satisfied, when you get dissatisfied, when you will be neutral. So that is called as sentiment analysis. It is an extension of a text analysis. And there is another word called a Lexalytics. Lexalyts. So this is combination of we have to get the data from the customer that we call as a data mining. After getting the data, we try to find out the thought process, how the customer thinks. The customer thoughts can be even tracked using your mobile usage, even using your mouse clicks. Thoughts can be predicted and your feelings can be predicted. So here what we are doing, we are converting our quantitative or textual information to qualitative sentimental information. So by collecting a data from a customer, by collecting a thought or thinking process of a customer, by collecting a feeling and emotion using a sentiment analysis, it is possible to make a profitable decision in a CRM. That is called as Lexalytics. It is an application. Okay, some companies offering it as a paid one, some companies offering it as a free one. It is a CRM technology. Okay, so by using this, I can easily find out the profitable customers and I can convince them. Okay, so these are the few recent technologies can be incorporated with the CRM. And actually we got stuck with the mobile. Okay, so we have a lot of innovation. When mobile generation came, everything we still stuck with only with the mobile. Now we are linking everything only with the mobile. We are not able to think beyond the mobile because we feel that everything is integrated in the mobile itself. Whatever our banking, our eating behavior, our studies, our entertainment, everything is synchronized in the mobile. So that is also one way we can say it is a restriction for our innovation, but later there will be other innovation will be coming that can be related to the CRM. So as of now, the CRM is still, we believe it is a technological oriented, it is a system oriented or a mobile oriented or internet oriented. And this thing only we are able to predict, but in future, the CRM can be integrated with any new technology and any people. Okay. So these are the few emerging trends in CRM and you can also connect with the recent trends and technologies. Okay. So with this, we will be closing the second unit, CRM, the various technologies in CRM, challenges in CRM, implementation challenges and how we have to design and implement the CRM for the respective client. Okay. So with this, we will be closing second unit and I will check. Kunjan?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Do you need any opportunity for presenting today or?
So I guess we will be giving next call because Shubham is not yet ready, sir. I'm ready, but Shubham and Harshadi are not ready, sir.
Okay, Kunjan, you will take maximum of 5 to 10 minutes to complete your suggestion. Let them discuss and let them decide about their marks. Okay, so if you are ready, you just complete your turn and later we will be moving to another thing. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Kunjan, you have to switch on your videos. You have to be ready for presenting with respect to the online tutorial. CRM implementation challenges in online tutorial like Byju's.
Yes, sir. So it's about the Byju's. If we go through online process, we are going to face some technical problems, such like if I just say from my own perspective, and I'm going to say like the lack of discipline among the students. So it might be like that if you're teaching and the students may switch off his camera, he might be sleeping, first of all. Lack of communication between the teachers and the students. Second, like because some students may be like more anxious of studying in the school, or they might be more understanding while they're in the school rather than sitting in the home in their comfort zone, sleeping in a bed like that. Third point would be the lack of internet connection, because it's not that every student they stay or they are having Wi-Fi in their house. It's not like that. So the problem of internet issue might be a problem in it. Sir, fourth one, if the examination is conducted through an online process, there is a huge possibility that cheating and other things might take place, just like exchanges of papers or answer sheets and any other things. And so these all are the technical problems of my part, sir. Other it will be taken forward by Shubham and Harsh. So this was my part of saying.
Okay, so as of now, Subham and Harshavardhan are not here. So
Yes,
I'll
sir.
be taking the discussion of Kunjan, and like Kunjan, there's two people are also not discussed contributed from the group side. Okay, so that people, let's see what will happen. Okay, so anyway, thank you, Gunjan, for
Thank
the
you, sir.
small point of contribution. And friends, with this, we will close the second unit. Okay, so balance thing we will discuss with respect to the supply chain management from the tomorrow. Okay, so thank you all. We'll meet you from tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.